Hey everyone. Hey, Brad and Ken, welcome to Glamis Coffee. I'm happy to get you guys on here. For people that don't know, um, I've known Brad and Ken for going on 12 years now. Good friends of mine, and I met them out in the desert a long time ago. And they were nice enough to take me in. But Brad is a little backstory on him. He has worked for Honda for 27 years, so he has a lot of experience. And I guess he started off as a mechanic, then worked up into marketing, and really helped that company out and big part of the Glamis community. Because right here, I got two generations of Duners here, which is an awesome treat. So, hey, Ken, Brad, welcome.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey,
Good to
bud.
see you.
Good to see you too, man. It's a little different doing it camera style over here, but it's a lot of fun.
Not from across camp.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to drive 2 hours over to see you, or 3 hours out in the dunes.
To ride the
So,
70s over.
what's that?
We'll have to ride the 70s over.
Yeah, totally.
Visit
Jump
you.
on them. It'll only take you about 6 hours. So let's get into y'all's backstories with this. I mean, hell, you guys have been going out to Glamis for how many years now? How long, when you started going out there, Ken?
Well, I think I started going, around mid 70s. So what is that? 25 plus 25. About
Wow,
50 years, something like that.
50 years. So
50, somewhere around in there.
that's your whole life, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just turned 40.
Well, I mean, Brad's whole life, he's been going out there.
Oh, yeah.
This is my son. I'm the father. He worked nights a lot.
Yeah, you can
So
tell. He's
age.
stressed out, smokes
Yeah.
cigarettes and drinks too. Oh, hell no. I'm happy to have you guys on here. I mean, you've got a wealth of knowledge, and obviously you guys have been, well, Brad's been in the industry forever. And hell, I know, Ken, you've been out here in the dunes and know everyone in the community. So it's pretty cool when I'd go out and talk to everyone and we talk about some of the OGs out here. Ken is definitely one of the OGs for Glamis. So I guess getting into that, what made you start going out there, Ken?
Well, first of all, I was stationed up in the Bay Area at Moffett Field when I was in the Navy, and I went to Pismo Beach. Was the first sand experience I had, and then I got restationed down in San Diego, and there was a guy I ran into. I can't even remember his name. I can't remember how I met him. And he says, "Oh, you got to come to Glamis if you like the sand dunes." And so he took me out there and gave me a ride in his sand rail at the time. And long story short, I ended up buying his sand rail because I said, "Oh, how do I get one of these?" And he said, "Well, this is for sale."
That's the story of everyone. Oh, you want one? I got one for you, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Works out really good. So how long were you in the Navy, Ken?
7 years.
7 years. And what'd you do after that?
I started working. I didn't work much when I was in. No, I'm just kidding. I did work when I was in the Navy, but
Hey, I know there's some skaters out there. I've been one.
yeah. No, I've been involved in electronics ever since I was in. I got trained in the Navy in electronics and electricity and all that stuff. So that's what I've been doing, and then also got into marketing later on in life, and
Okay.
that was it. And then retired
Well, awesome. No, that's you've been retired for a minute now, haven't you?
since 2003. So I don't know. I do the math, I guess.
And
That's
how old
awesome.
were you?
Again, I was 49 when I retired. No, 53 when I retired.
Ooh, I got him beat.
That's awesome. You try to beat him?
Yeah, he wanted to beat me.
I wanted to beat him.
Retirement.
It's a hell of a goal. I mean, hell, I'd see Ken out there, and I was really jealous. I was, I'd see Ken out there with his motorhome, hanging out in Glamis. He used to stay there for what, months on end, almost the whole season, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then I got a girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. It was a dream of mine too. Then I got married. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not spending as much time as I thought I was going to be out there.
Life, yeah, yeah.
It
Life
definitely
changed.
upped my camper game after that. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no more tent.
Yeah, exactly. So, Brad, what's your story with the Glen? Obviously, you've been coming out since the beginning because Ken's has you since you're a baby, I assume.
Yeah, well, I was actually born in San Jose where he was stationed. And
Okay.
long story short, but him and his brothers and his mom, my grandma, they loved to camp and ride. And when he was stationed in San Jose, Pismo was kind of like the halfway point from Orange County to San Jose. So
Okay.
they would meet all the time in Pismo. And my first time I was in my mom's belly
Yeah. It's
going
in
to
your
Pismo.
blood now.
Still in the womb.
Yeah.
We got video to prove that one.
And then I went to San Diego. I don't remember going on a trip when we were in San Diego. when we moved to Orange County, and I think I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
When we went to Glamis for the first time. And I was in the back of a Datsun with an ATC and Tim, my brother, and my uncle, and we laid underneath the ATC. Well, my dad and my other uncle were in the front of the Datsun pulling a sandrail. So don't call child services. It was legal back then.
Hey, I did the same thing. I think I rode in the back of a truck more in the front for the first few years of my life. I think there was no room in the front of the truck, so we just all sat.
Yeah, we laid down in the back of the Datsun underneath the ATC 90.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a 90.
Yeah,
with 3 of us back there.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was wondering if you started off with those 70s. I figure you're just going right back to your roots with the ones you've been riding around.
Well, there was no more. There wasn't 70s then.
Yeah,
that was all 90s.
right.
Really?
Yeah, with the big balloon tires, no suspension, and
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a big rocks just floating around out there.
Well, the suspension was the big tires.
Yeah, that was it.
Just don't inflate them all the way, and you got all the suspension you need.
Exactly.
Actually, the earlier ones you couldn't even take the tires off. They were
Really?
vulcanized right to the hub
Wow.
on the 90s, the first 90s that came out.
Well, I'm glad
That's
things
kinda
have
weird.
changed for the better anyway. So you start off on a 90. What kind of rides have you had since? I mean, obviously there's a direct progression here. Did you always start off on Hondas, or is that just what you kind of started getting into like further on?
Me or him?
Oh, both.
Go ahead.
Well, we had Honda ATCs, basically. That's the 3-wheelers they had back there. Also rode motorcycles out in Glamis. That wasn't fun. That was a lot of work for me. And
Yeah,
my younger brothers, they could ride better than me. I like going uphill. I didn't like going downhill on a motorcycle. So,
yeah. No,
yeah.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm better on 3-wheel or 4-wheels than 2.
Yeah, so 3-wheelers was the natural progression there. And so went up, like Brad said, to the 90s, and we probably had a 110 and then
185.
185, had them all. And then when the 250R came out, that was the cat's meow there. That was a great bike.
Yeah.
Full suspension and 250 cc's and 2-stroke. Yeah.
1982.
82 was the first one. Yeah. So me and my brothers went down and got the first ones that came out and just started having fun with them ever since. So
Love it. Hey, when make you feel old, that's the year I was born.
yeah.
So
And Brad's had all kinds of stuff too. So
But the thing back when I remember when he had his 82 250, it was always, if you could start it, you can ride it.
yeah, that's true.
that's a great rule, and that gets people really excited. I remember when I was a kid, they told me that shit, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I was learning how to start everything I could at that point.
But nowadays it's cheating. Everything has a button.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like if you have basically a manual car, it's almost like theft deterrents. No one knows how to even drive them. So
Yeah.
That's
I
true.
know. So you start off with those. And then, so Brett, I know you're probably pretty wild back in the days. How did your progression keep going to get the 250Rs, and what did you keep going with?
Well, actually, I started on a 90 way back in the day. Well, even mini bikes.
Yeah.
Mini bikes.
Oh yeah. Like, yeah. Motorcycles, whatever we could, we'd ride.
Yeah. But yeah, 90s.
Had wheels. Yeah. We'd ride it.
70s, 90s, 185s, 200s. And then my first dirt bike was a Yamaha 100 2-stroke. And I took it out to Glamis, and it was tough, especially with the knobby tire.
So those days, when you were riding those, how much has things changed? I mean, even terrain-wise. I mean, was there stuff that was out there that was pretty much shut down now that no one's even been able to get on?
I don't remember anything ever being shut down when we first started going out there. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite. There were no rangers out there or anything.
Yeah.
No, and no Gecko Road, no, there was no pavement, no outhouses out there like there are now. So you were on your own. And a lot of people camped right along the highway there, Highway 78. You just pull off to the side of the highway and, set your camp up right on the highway and then jump into the dunes. Some people would go down by the canal. Some people would be over by the store in the flats behind the store. That's usually where we went, was in the flats behind the store. Yeah.
Okay.
In a tent.
Yep.
Big tent.
Hey, I know all about the tent camping. That's how my dumbass showed up with a tent. it's it's kind of funny because that's I guess I could kind of explain that a little bit, because hell, these are the guys that I met my very first time coming out to Glamis, and
Big story here.
it's great, man. So I remember.
Here, let me open up here for that.
What's that?
We
Yeah,
gotta-
open up your
We'll drink to this one.
right. Here we go. I got my coffee out here, but hell, so I remember hearing about Glamis from my brother, and he told me, because I used to rep in Oregon, dude. So like, you guys start off in Pismo, I started off in Oregon, riding out there, and I got the bug from him. And long story short, he was like, "Hey, if you love this, go get stationed out in San Diego so you ride in Glamis," because that's what he's heard about, just seen all the videos. So I'm like, cool, and I did everything I could to get stationed in San Diego. End up doing it. Did a cross country trip with my buddy Joey, who you guys met, and showed up there. Didn't know anyone, nothing about it. The Thanksgiving's coming around, and I'm like, well, hell, the reason I came here is for this. I loaded up my trailer. I had a little open one. I had a Raptor 700, my LTR 450, load on the back, and I'm just heading out. So getting over.
Bobby, didn't you have a trip before that?
Yeah, I did. I did have a little trip before that, and it was a disaster. I barely call that my initial one, but so, and when we were coming out, we pretty much planned from Charlotte all the way to San Diego, and we hit Flat Nasties. It's in Missouri, and that was our first stop. And then we hit Grand Lake, Colorado. Then it was Moab. It's been a few days there. Absolutely love Moab. And then I'm like, hey, the best part's gonna be Glamis. I had no idea about the seasons out here. I had no idea when the peak season, when it's going to get colder. So we show up in late August, and it's like the evening. It's, it's like 95 degrees outside, and we pulled into Gecko Road. I don't even know really what Gecko was, but knowing now, it was Gecko we pulled into by the little ranger station. And I'm like, there's nothing out here. I'm like, this doesn't seem, what we want to do. And I saw this little sign, and I'm like, hell, I'll just pull the 4Runner around it and take a look at what the sign says. I go to pull around the sign, and it says, "Don't drive off this pad," is what it says. And I buried my 4Runner up to the chassis right there to get it out. So me and Joey don't know what the hell to do. So we unload the two quads, and we take it from the 78, and we drive down past the store, and we're waiting for somebody to come through. And we admit, we're there trying to flag people down. Everyone's going around us. They don't want nothing to do with anyone in the desert at that time. And I get it. But anyway, we flagged down a fuel truck, and he came over, and we hooked up to him. It took us 2 tries. We snapped the rope, retied it up, was finally able to get out of this thing. And we said, hell with this, packed our shit up and went straight to Brawley and stayed in a hotel that night. That was my initial trip to Glamis. So at least I knew where to go for my second one. But it was, yeah. So that was my initial introduction, but I don't really consider that a real trip because I didn't get to ride. So anyway, I show up this next time. I'm heading over by Osborne Lookout, going down towards the beach store. We're going to come over the hill, this near Comp Hill. I see this razor burning into the ground, and I just got excited. I was like, hell yeah, this is going to be fun. And keep driving, and I get to the Glamis Beach store, and I hung a right and go down to Wash Road, and I'm driving for a couple of minutes. We're like a minute. And it's just dusty. It's Thanksgiving, 2014. And I stop and talk to this little ranger, and I'm like, hey man, where can I set up a tent around here? And he's like, oh, you got to go to like Wash 18. And I'm like, well, Wash am I on now? It's like, you're at 4. I'm like, oh, so I got to drive ahead of me. So I take off down the road, and I see this little spot by the Wash where I could jackknife this trailer by some bushes, and I'm going to run me over the night and set up my camp. Man, I got bottles, everything that you're not supposed to do in Glamis. I'm pretty much doing it right there. So I pack up a couple beers and just drive over to this camp I see with the Seahawks game projected on the side of it. And that's how I ended up meeting Brad. So I just happened to walk into, I was the luckiest person to walk into the coolest camp I could ever walked into, being lost out there. And I remember talking to Brad, and he's got this cowboy hat on. He's a little sauced up. And I remember talking to you for like a minute. And then you're like, hey, just go to the campfire and talk to the guys. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I went over there and I'm bullshitting with everybody. I'm getting along great. And I was talking to them for probably about half an hour. And then they're like, so who you were here with? And I'm like, nobody. And they're like, well, you don't ride here alone. I'm like, why? And everyone's like, well, you could die. And I'm like, is it that bad? And they're like, yeah, it is. And they're like, they started telling me all the horror stories. And they're like, hey, I'll come ride with us the next day. So I went and rode with the guys. And it turned out really good. And then Brad pretty much said after that, hey, pack your shit up to come with us. And I've been riding with these guys and camping with them ever since. So thank you, gentlemen, because if it wasn't for y'all being cool to me, we wouldn't be doing this right here. That's for sure. So appreciate it.
Very true.
Always good to have good people in our camp.
Damn right. It's good to have good people anywhere. But I'm glad I lucked out and ran into your guys' camp. I mean, honestly, everyone's super cool. Everyone's super down to earth and help each other out. So with
But
that,
we haven't been able to get rid of you yet.
no, I'm a turd to one flesh, man. It's tough. Well, just show me a good time. I'm coming back for more. So here we are. So for the newbies out there, I'd say that's kind of one of these things that I managed to do, lucking out, meeting the right group of people. What kind of advice would you have for people coming out to Glamis for their first time, not knowing what to do? Kind of what are the unwritten rules or rules that people should do if they're trying to meet up with good people and find their tribe?
Well, number one, don't go to Glamis. It's no fun at all.
It's full, huh?
Yeah.
It's filled all the time.
Yeah, it's full. It's full all the time. So you don't want to go there. So, stay home, right? Watch TV,
Yeah.
videos, whatever.
Really dangerous. So just stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
totally.
that would leave more space for the rest of us.
I would say that number one rule was the one that you almost broke was do not go riding by yourself.
Yep.
Especially your first time. You never want to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need to find somebody that has the experience, knows what they're doing. Even reading dunes it takes a long time to learn that. So you want to go with someone that has experience.
So for somebody who, they need to go ride with someone and get into that thing, I guess people could probably get on all the forums. I mean, obviously GlamisDunes.com has a lot of information on it. I mean, you can read that and they'll pretty much tell you all the do's and don'ts. You can pretty much go on probably Google Glamis, what not to do, or just riding alone. They'll give you a lot of tips. There's plenty of people out there. I'd say one thing that helped for me, going out there, and some of the things that we've noticed is we're doing all the R riding, is that we'll get a new guy in the camp and you don't really know what their skill set is. So it seems like if you actually know how to ride, spent the time to do it, then, a couple little tweaks here and there, will really help. But I would say if you do show up and, you don't know anybody, at least know how to ride. If you don't know how to ride, I suggest find a friend and learn or ride with them to figure out a few things and find out what you want to start getting into and then kind of go from there. What do you guys think?
And then there's even people that have been out there multiple times and they just don't get it. I mean, we've had people show up and they just don't understand it. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
It's a different beast.
Yeah.
It's not like hardpack.
What would you kind of compare it to?
It's hard to compare it to anything, really. I mean, the riding out there is hard to compare, but
I'd compare it to snowboarding, but if you could go back up the hill on a snowboard.
True. No, I guess that's pretty good. I used to tell people it is like driving in the snow. It's like, and almost like playing in water in its own kind of way. It's completely different. You need to have momentum. Pretty much when you hit a hill, you never go straight at it. Hit the crest.
Yep.
Air pressure in your tires is extremely important. All the right gear, recovery gear. I see a lot of people show up. They don't have any type of recovery gear or any type of tools to work on the vehicle they have.
Yep. Safety gear. Yeah.
Bring a lot of beer in case someone has to pull you out. You can.
Exactly.
That's like currency.
Yeah.
Totally. Don't lose your cooler. So that's some of the stuff for the, because this my thing is, I know we get a lot of people that are probably going to watch this. I mean, you may get the old Duners for sure, but there's going to be a lot of people that's going to find it. It's never been out there and they're going to start just going for it. And they'll probably wind up on Sand Highway and don't know anything. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like the guy we met before said he didn't really know those big dunes were out there, which blew my mind.
We met a few people like that. They didn't know.
It is wild. And yeah, it blows my mind. But I mean, if it gets them out there eventually, cool. But I guess if anyone wants to get away from the crowd, just go into deep dunes and you can do it.
Yeah.
So obviously we go deep into dunes. We're usually like wash 20, wash 20 on up, where we're usually at doing our thing. What's probably the big advantages of different places that you camp out in Glamis? Because I know obviously there's a big crowds, but like, where's the sweet spots that you guys like and that just work good for people depending on that place?
I think it depends on off weekends, time of the year. There's a lot I love gecko, but there's no way we can get our camps, some of our big camps when we got 20 people in it.
Totally.
We're not getting on gecko.
Yeah. You get 20 rigs, you're not going to get all together on gecko. No.
Yeah. But if it's an off weekend and we get 20 rigs, I mean, you can go to wash 8, 10, somewhere in there. Bigger weekends, we got to head on out and get as far away as we can.
No, totally. I mean, that's a good tip for a lot of people. I see a lot of dudes on the forums and all these different pages. They're like, hey, I'm trying to do this, go to this, where's the spot to go? So obviously gecko, I could pretty much tell anyone it's going to be completely packed. There's people that post up out there all season long, and you're good luck getting into that stuff during the busy weekends.
Well, if you're by yourself though, gecko is not it's not a bad place to go because you can probably pull in next to somebody and hopefully they're experienced and you can get some experience out there real easy if you can, if you're by yourself.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I did that a couple weekends ago. Bought an open trailer with my rooftop tent on top, just posted up. And it was easy enough. So you can always probably find a spot for onesie twosies out there. Well, yeah.
One of the pluses of gecko is the dunes are closer. The good riding dunes are closer. You don't have to go through the washes, so to speak, and some of the dust associated with that to get to the dunes itself. So that's another plus. But then some people, like you said, they never get to the big dunes. They spend their whole time in small dunes playing in the washes. So
I can't imagine anyone to spend that kind of money to get beat up on that hot sand highway. I mean, I went at her one time and I'm looking at Rebecca because we bought this side by side and it's beating her to death. And she's like, this sucks. I'm like, yeah, this does suck. But I need to get you on the dunes. This is not all right. So, but there are some good times out there. They just tore down the disco ball, which sucks. That was actually kind of fun. I got to see it for a little bit.
Well, just be glad you saw it. I'm kind of glad it's gone.
Yeah. Too much attention over there?
Yeah. Too much of the destination crap that they put in there.
Yeah.
And then all it was is bring crowds and trash, and it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, the trash is a shitty thing about this. So I guess for other people is pick up all your trash and respect the place or you're not going to have too much of it.
You pack it in, pack it out. That's,
totally.
That's important. Keep it prettier than when you first got there.
Let me ask you, what is one of the best ways for anyone new coming out and they're trying to, or not even if they're new, if they're just trying to get their girlfriend or their wife in the dunes, what is some of the best ways to make them feel comfortable so they'll keep coming back, so everyone can keep coming back and partying?
Boy, that's a loaded question.
Yeah. I hope we don't have wives and girlfriends nearby.
Oh, yeah. Keep them separate, Ken.
It would probably be kind of what you did, Mr. Tent Guy. Then that all of a sudden, trailer, wife, side by side.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some upgrades.
Yes.
It's like I used to tell people with camping, off-roading, all of it, and anyone can do it. If a bum can live on the street in San Diego, you can camp anywhere in California, no problem. It depends on how comfortable you want to be.
Yep. True.
Because obviously I showed up to it, started off with a tent, then upgraded, if you call it upgrade, had a basically 6x12 trailer. I pulled the quads out, I didn't sleep in it. You just have a lugaloo right there and you can make do as just a guy. As soon as you start bringing women, you got to step your game up because, you put your girl. What's that?
You have to have a shower.
Yes. Showers are important. A little bit of water to go with it.
Deodorant. Toothpaste.
So I noticed, because one thing I never wanted to do was bring a girl out there, have her wake up in the sticks, and then you see someone's wife come walking out of their trailer with the hair all done. I'm like, that's not going to fly too well. It's going to be like, oh, we all need to step our game up. This is the way you should be doing it out here. So as soon as I started bringing anyone with me, it was all right, upgrade, get a trailer, make them comfortable in that sense. And I would say for the other part is the riding aspect. When you have people trying to get into riding, because obviously the side by side came with, you need a ride for the other person out there. I'd say for like making the women feel comfortable in that sense, as far as like getting them all the protective gear they need, learning how to ride to make them feel comfortable in it. And then if you start transitioning them over to riding, what's the first thing you would do when you start trying to transition somebody who doesn't ride into riding? What's usually a good step that you guys have found?
Well, not everybody wants to ride on their own. Some ladies and even some guys are comfortable just being a passenger.
Yeah.
So don't force it, I guess is what I'm saying. Don't force it. If it's not there, it's not there. If it is there and they want to ride, just slowly bring them into it. Start. If they've never driven off road at all, maybe go to hard pack somewhere. Get them used to how a car handles, how a quad handles, whatever they're going to ride, how it all handles before you get, out in the dunes with a lot of traffic, because there is a lot of traffic in the dunes, especially if you kind of hang around camp. So
Sure.
get them out there in an open area, let them experience it, go with them, let them go at their own pace.
Okay.
They'll let you know when they're ready to do more.
Yeah, I guess so. I think I'm lucking out right now if Rebecca's all about getting in the car and just doing it all and take some Dramamine and she's ready to go.
Well, when I start with Stacy, it was the first time I stayed in a motorhome. I had to rent one, and I brought her out there. And I was on a dirt bike. Obviously, I couldn't take her for rides, but I built a CR500 aluminum frame bike, and I brought it out there. So that was the first time that she really went with me. She went with her parents when she was younger.
Okay.
Her dad did a little Dune and her brothers and all that. So she was about camping and riding, and she loved it, which was great.
Awesome.
But yeah, that was the first time I brought her out there, and then she just kind of stayed back at camp because we went and rode. It was a bunch of us guys on dirt bikes that went out there and had fun. But as it started evolving, then it was, okay, now it's time for a motorhome. I had to buy a motorhome. And then I went to a sand rail because I knew I had to tote her around. This was before side-by-side, so.
Yeah.
And then I even so Justin, my son, he was 7 when we first got together. So I had to start bringing him out little bikes for him to ride. And then Jordan was born later, and we have pictures of Jordan in my first sand rail with Stacy holding them like in her arms. And this was when we were in Buttercup, just taking it over to Duner's Diner.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, and that was my first sand rail, but I got into sand rails, and still I had bikes and stuff like that. But if you're going to bring your wife, definitely 1, you need a motorhome or a trailer. 2, you need something that you can tote her around in. Even now, I mean, Stacy will ride a bike, and she's ridden bikes because when she was younger, she learned how to ride.
Okay.
But I think the number one thing is just find a woman that really likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make both of you happy.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Luckily, if they don't like it,
what's that?
If the woman you're with doesn't like it, go find another one.
Or do what he did, move to North Carolina and then fly in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. She didn't want to go anymore, so I'd fly in.
Yeah.
So did you ever hear the story about him? He'd keep his motorhome and his buggy and everything in Glamis.
No.
When he lived in North Carolina. And one trip, you flew into El Centro.
Yeah.
And then Ubered from El Centro to Glamis Dune Storage.
How much was that Uber? That's the hell of an Uber.
Oh, it wasn't that much, but it was kind of cool because the guy was like a El Centro native.
Yeah.
And he didn't even know about Glamis, right? I mean, it's 30 miles away or something like that. Didn't even know about it.
If you're not in the sport, you wouldn't really know about it.
Not into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But right in his own backyard. And he goes, I never knew this was out here.
No, that's cool. Honestly, that's probably how my setup's probably going to be one of these days. depending on where we ever move to, if we're going to stay out here or bounce around somewhere else. But Glamis storage is looking more and more appetizing right now. It just seems like the thing to do. It makes sense. I like the idea of traveling, 80 miles an hour out there, picking up stuff and pulling it out. So I guess that's probably what the more experienced owners and the guys that pretty much turn this into a lifestyle do. Just keep all their rigs tucked away out in Glamis and then just pull it out, make it a lot easier on themselves.
It is like easy.
Very easy, yeah. No white knuckling it. Once or twice a season, that's it.
Yeah, that's probably where it's going with ours. We'll get it all figured out. Now I got to get this Banshee going. I got some O-rings that should be coming in here.
I don't want to hear your woes.
What's up?
I don't want to hear your woes on getting stuff running.
He's got some.
Hey, I always got one thing running, That's why I always bring extras. You never know what the hell you got to deal with. So the sand rails. How many sand rails do you have, Brad?
I've had 3.
And you're getting another one?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? I thought we were doing this. I was so excited to see this thing.
Where's Stacy?
It's tucked away in someone's garage already. Just haven't told anyone yet. No, whatever you get, I'm excited. That'd be super cool. So
how many have you had?
I knew that was coming.
What did you have, Ken? You've had quite a few.
Yeah. Well, when you've been doing it for like 50 years, I started with a sand rail, and I basically always had a sand rail. So yeah, one kind or another. I've had just about every combination I think you can think of, motor wise, transmission wise. Starting with the first one was a Corvair and VW's Corvairs, had a Pinto engine, Cadillac.
What was the one we had to camp by the canal?
Oh, that was the Pinto. That was the first one. That was a long time ago.
It had a radiator leak. You had to fill it up from the canal.
We went.
You just raced up and down the canal.
Well, we'd go duning for a while, and it'd all come out, and it would just vibrate. That radiator was not the best radiator for it. It was just a junkyard radiator. It wasn't like the nice aluminum sophisticated ones we have nowadays, right? Yeah. For LS motors and so forth. So yeah, it was tough, but I guess I don't know, a dozen, maybe 2 dozen sand rails over the years, something like that.
Yeah, because when I showed up, you had Old Yeller. What kind of rail was that?
That was Suspensions Unlimited. It's what they call the Sand Pro 2, and it was a mid-engine car, LS, with a sequential. That was a nice car. Should have never sold it, but somebody convinced me to get a side-by-side. Somebody worked at Honda at that time.
Yeah, I know. He's been pushing Honda on people ever since forever. I remember when he was telling me to get a 450. He's like, get a Honda. And I'm like, until Honda starts paying me to drive their stuff, I'm just whatever I want.
And what do you have, Bobby?
Well, I do have a Honda.
What works? Yeah, it works. That's
yeah. You know what's funny? The only reason I got that Honda, I really regret ever getting rid of that LTR that I had. That was such a cool bike. But when I go to
500,
no, that's a 450. The LT, I'm fine with getting rid of that LT 500. So that old 2-stroke, I think it was rebuilt more than it ever, I had Duncan build the engine, and then a blue, they rebuilt it, which is awesome of them. By the time I got all the bugs worked out, I moved to Colorado and I couldn't really ride the thing. So sold it to a guy. He got a killer deal. And then my 450, got rid of it. So when I got back to San Diego, I'm like, well, I need a bike. So I was looking around, and this one kid had one, and it looked a lot nicer than it does now. I beat the hell out of it. But I bought a TRX 450 Snow 7 ER. And it does great. So as long as you rebuild the carb right, it does really good.
You got to tell a story about your demo weekend in Glamis. When we're with Honda, and you brought demos out, and all the people were doing them demo rides, side by sides, and all that.
That's boring.
I know.
What was exciting? You were out there, remember, Bobby?
Yeah, that's. I think that's the year I smashed the kiddie hole, and
kiddie track.
Yeah,
the kiddie track.
Which time was this?
So this is the first. So I never hit any other kiddie tracks. I've hit, ran into some holes, but that's about it on that. So this was 2000. So this was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's when I always get messed up. So Thanksgiving, probably 5-6 years ago, I actually I was following Ken. Well, we're just going down Wash Road. Wasn't even
You weren't following me. That was the problem.
yeah, probably should have been following you. He was going down Wash Road, and we're just going back to camp because we came back. We left that demo that Brad had set up down on by that store on vendors. So we're going about 45. I mean, we're just trucking through, but sun was going down. I just did not see this kiddie track, and I hit this thing, and I don't know how I stayed on that bike, but it bounced me all around. I ended up, I think I fractured my wrist, I broke my nose. They didn't do an X-ray on the nose. They did it later and found out the thing was broke. So and I've pretty much been snoring ever since. So anyway, I think that's when they broke my nose and I poked a hole in my intestine. I didn't realize it until I went to, the hospital the next day. So Jordy helped me load up all my stuff because I couldn't really hold anything with my wrist. Brad drove my bike back that day. But yeah, I went to use the bathroom the next morning. It looked like straight copper. So I'm like, well, this isn't good. So drove to Balboa. They did a CT scan, found out I was leaking fluid. And they're like, well, you should have came in last night, but it looks like it clotted. You're not sick, so you're good. So I drove back to Colorado the next 2 days with a broke rib and all busted up. But nonetheless,
Good fun of Glamis, you know?
totally. Hey, so speaking of accidents,
Uh-oh.
what are your guys' doozies that you want to talk about? Like, I'm sure you got, like, what's probably your top 2 accidents that you guys have been?
Go ahead.
Well, I've done a few things with the sandrail, flipped it over a couple times.
Like end over end? Like
I'm part of the Inverted Alliance Club, the Upside Down Club.
I haven't done that yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Rolled them on their side.
So what happened? What was going on?
I just ran out of talent.
He's chasing me.
No.
Well, that's a good lesson for everyone. Don't outride your talent.
No, I just came down on the left front wheel and it buckled, and it was over. And once it buckled under, I just flipped it over 2 or 3 times, I think it was, and ended up upside down. But,
did you total it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was total. Insurance said it was total, but I ended up selling the car minus the motor. I kept the motor. It was good. I just had it rebuilt, had it punched out to a 383 stroker. And, so it was a good motor. And what happened? I just ended up selling it to a guy, and he ended up fixing a lot of it. Even the front wheel that was tacoed and messed up pretty good. Fortunately, I was okay. I had safety equipment on. I do wear a helmet in my sandrail. I also wear a full harness with wrist restraints. So I kept everything inside, and that was it.
But I almost killed him towing it out.
Well, yeah, that's another story.
So I guess with that, one of the good things that people, they hear about all the wrecks, they see all the stuff on YouTube of everyone destroying things, but it doesn't seem like they learn anything from it. But obviously for all the accidents that we've been a part of, hopefully you take something from each one of those and learn something. It seems like obviously, Ken, after that, you're like, hey, all the safety gear, obviously a harness is extremely important. You wear a helmet, even in a rail that are not even legally required to have to do this stuff. And then you even go the extra mile and have wrist restraints for yourself. So what other things besides that did you learn from like an accident like that or other accidents you've been a part of? What have those things taught you?
I don't think I really learned anything from that.
Well, you just should have been going faster, huh?
It's just that, out in the dunes, shit happens. And sometimes you end up, upside down or roll over or whatever the case may be. And I think you can even be a very, very good driver and with a lot of experience, and still you're going to get yourself in trouble one of these times, because there are some things that you just can't predict out there. And you just misread one dune a little bit, or you come off an edge a little bit different than you did before, or whatever. And, and then, you've got the car itself, whether it's a side-by-side, a sandrail, or a quad, or whatever. Those things, they break. And
totally.
If you're going at, a reasonable speed, when they break, you're going to end up not where you want to be. So.
And another one is shadows.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, where the sun's at, that can mess you up.
Right.
Totally. Shadows reading a ride. I've noticed moisture in the sand has been always a big deal, especially riding on quads. You could have a place where it rained a little bit, it's starting to dry out. You may have hit a soft spot. Then all of a sudden you go to a little area that's had a lot of shadow, or I guess the shadows over it, or just some top cover. And now it's, a little more hard packed. And I've had that stuff send me straight off a quad a few times. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that's messing me up out there.
Yep.
Yeah, shadows got me.
Conditions
So Brad,
change.
you broke your pelvis one time.
Yeah,
What happened there?
shadows.
Big shadow got you?
Yeah, big shadow swallowed me.
Where were you at?
I was actually coming down Sand Highway. It was in April, so there was nobody out there. And me and a buddy got on our four-wheelers and went to Competition Hill just to hang out. I was coming back down Sand Highway, and it looked like the dune went like this and then up, but it actually dropped. So I was on a 700X Honda, which was the El Diablo of Hondas, the devil.
Yeah.
So I was hauling, and I thought it went up, but it dropped, and I came off of it and hit the face because of the shadow and caught the bars right in my pelvis. And
Damn.
broke it.
That sounds really similar to that kiddie track I hit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was probably in fourth gear or so.
So did you have to get airlifted out of there? Or they throw you in a truck?
No, there was no rangers. There was nobody around because, like I said, it was in April. I ended up having my buddy helped me climb onto, because the bike that I was riding, that the light stayed on because I was laying there. But first thing I did after I crashed is earmuffs, ladies. I stuck my hand down my pants, make sure I could still feel.
Yeah, that's important.
Anyway, I had my buddy
You got to
help
go
me.
with the front side, not the back side, Brad.
Yeah, the front side. But my buddy helped me get on his bike, and then he got on the back, and I rode back to camp. And then when I got back to camp, I took off my gear and I was laying on my carpet, and I'm like, man, my back's really messed up. That was what really hurt, was my back. And that's because I split myself in two. So all the muscles were like tightening up and trying to hold up that side of my body.
Yeah.
So my back hurt. Well, my bike was still back there. So him and his wife took off in a side-by-side to go get it, and they couldn't find it. So I go, okay. I took a chair and I started hobbling over to my sand rail to go and help them find it.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't climb on my sand rail. I couldn't get inside of it.
Yeah.
So then I go, okay. And my wife helped me hobble over to my truck, and I pulled myself in the truck, drove over there, told them where it was, ended up towing it out. Mind you, my pelvis is broke.
That's
And then drove back to camp, and after that, we went to the hospital. Here, lady's here.
Thank you.
that's
Cheers.
awesome. I need something stiff for my coffee, man. What is that?
But then after that, we drove to Brawley, stayed the night there. Well, they tried taking me in an ambulance to San Diego, and it was so windy that they turned around and came back. And then the next day, they flew me in an airplane to San Diego.
I could imagine what an ambulance ride would cost all the San Diego. That'd be a $30,000 ride.
Well, it's a plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Main right.
They tried in an ambulance and made it halfway and turned around and came back. Mind you, while I'm strapped to a board.
Yeah. Just beating you to death. Well, hell. Definitely a gnarly story on that one. So Brad, you worked for Honda for 27 years.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you get into that?
I originally went to MMI, which was in Phoenix. Now it's UTI, Universal Technical Institute. Back then it was Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. And part of that, I took the Honda course. You go through all of the regular classes, and then you can take electives. Well, I elected to take Honda. And what they had back then was if you graduated, I graduated top of my class, so they gave you kind of an internship at Honda, the corporation. So I went in there in the service shop, worked there for, I think, about 6 months or so as an intern kind of thing that they give you. And then after that, they hired me into the race team. And I worked there for 12 years with the race team, motocross and supercross. Way back in the day, if you guys remember McGrath, I hope people do. Steve Lamson, Doug Henry were the riders when I got in there. So I did that for 12 or 13 years, something like that. And then they moved me they got rid of all employees in the race team and it all went contract. So they moved me up to doing events and started doing different events for Honda, like Daytona, GPs, IMS shows,
Sand show,
and demo rides all over. I've done farm shows, been all over the place doing different shows. So I did that for 13, 14 years, something like that.
See, that's cool to me. Like, I think that's a lot of fun. And I mean, honestly, I think there's so many people out there that'd be like a dream of theirs to go work for someone like Honda and then to be able to then do the events like you did. I think it's just awesome. So what advice do you have for people out there that are trying to break into it the same way you did? Has it changed?
I've been out of it for a while, so I don't know. I mean, what I originally wanted to do was be a mechanic for a rider. Well, once I started working for the race team and seeing what those guys go through as far as how much they travel, how they're gone all the time. And this is back in the days when we were in box vans. So the mechanic had to actually drive the box van and they were gone months at a time. And I looked at that and went, this isn't something I really want to do. So I was lucky enough or blessed enough that I got to stay back, still go to races, but fly to races, not have to drive to them, even though I did do some driving, but got to fly to them and be home. So, and then shortly after I got married, so it worked out good that I wasn't on the road all the time. But I still, my next job doing events, I was on the road, but it was, 3 or 4 days gone and then back home. So it wasn't bad. So, but I got to see a lot of the United States and all on Honda's dime, which was nice.
Oh yeah. No, that's the way to do it, man. That's great. Yeah. Cause I remember you used to just check out the equipment, like this Talon and the quads from work and bring them in.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Had a nice stable of toys.
Sure. So then you bought one out. So the Talon, you've had that for a while, and I know you might be getting into something different after that, but we'll see where that goes. But definitely good vehicles. Obviously, Honda's got great stuff. They got a great reputation. I just been riding everything else for forever, so now I got a Banshee that hopefully I can keep together.
Well, it stayed together. You just bent it up.
Yeah, it's physics, man. It just Obviously, now that I got Glamis Coffee and now starting a podcast around Glamis and off-roading and all this stuff out here, you working for Honda doing demos and working around the clock pretty much in your realm here. What's it like mixing business with your hobbies?
What, didn't I tell you what it was like?
Yeah, you did a little bit, but I think the rest of there's a lot of other people out there that have other businesses trying to base around Glamis or their hobbies. So what are some of the things that are going to be tough for them when you start combining the two?
Well, I only did, I think 2 events. Sorry, I did 2 events in Glamis.
Yeah. Like getting up and going to work every day.
Yeah, it was weird waking up in the morning and showering every morning in Glamis, which I don't do normally, and going down. I've never put more miles on Wash Road than I did with those events. Having to go to work and then come back to camp where everybody's all having fun and I'm sober, but I got to go to bed early. Got to wake up in the morning.
Yeah, you got work to do. It is a lot different, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, but I didn't own the company, so I had to be on my best behavior. But I mean, somebody like you own the company. You can go when you want, or not go if you don't want to, or
Sure.
have beer on your breath if you want.
Yeah.
I can't be sitting there doing demos and have beer on my breath. So
No, understandable. There is definitely a different side to it. I think I've cleaned up my act a lot more. It's kind of one of these things. A lot of people go out there. I mean, Glamis is for me always my escape. That's the place where I'm bringing, plenty of booze, and we're gonna have a party for 4 days, and there's no worries about anything else. I think everyone thought I was homeless for probably the first part of this thing. I just showed up in my ratty sweaters and just wrecked shit. So things have changed definitely, and I'm having fun with it, but I noticed very quickly all of a sudden, like, oh, this is different. We got things to do. But honestly, I'm having a ton of fun with it. But I guess my biggest fear when we first started out with us talking about it was once you combine your work with your hobbies and you start combining stress with it, it's no longer fun anymore. And I want to make sure that I never get to this point where it isn't fun. So I think that's one of the things with the podcast. I like bullshit with people all day long anyway. So if I can do this and still contribute and, bring value to people with it, then hey, let's go and see what happens with this. So it's good stuff. But,
yeah, I think I told my dad when I did those demos, it's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why am I mixing my love?
Yeah. So did they ask you to do that, or did you volunteer to do that?
I actually made it happen, but in hindsight, I was the one that pushed for it.
Gotcha. So now that you don't work for Honda anymore, are you going to get something that's not a Honda besides a Sandero?
Well, they don't make a sand rail.
Okay. So
put a Honda motor in one.
Yeah, I could put a Honda motor. I could get one with a Honda motor.
All right. Do they make anything that fast?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Turbocharging, it's fast.
Yeah, just turbo everything. You'd be all right.
Big ass turbo.
So let me ask you guys, what is the best off-roading rig ever made? So like either sandrails or ATVs or dirt bikes. Like, what do you guys think are the top ones out there?
For the sand dunes?
Yeah.
Definitely a sand
Or just
rail.
anything, honestly. They can be rode in all different places, but
well, until they come out with a hovercraft that'll do the dunes, I think a sand rail is the best.
I think when I was younger, I had more fun on a dirt bike.
Well, yeah, but you were young
when I was younger.
Yeah, when you were young. Was that hard pack or in the dunes?
No, on the dunes. CR500.
So do you got any cool videos like these old Crusty Demon videos you launching over something?
Well, I've done stuff like that, but no, I've had more fun, I think, on a dirt bike out there.
You just reminded me.
All right. I think I've had the most fun on quads. This is my thing. that still gives me that little rush.
Yeah, my dad brought up a good
story.
You were out.
You said Crusty Demons, and it reminded me of a story. You were there with us. I think that was
a demo weekend.
That was a demo weekend over Thanksgiving.
Well, I wasn't there the entire weekend. I got the first 2 days, and by the time everyone showed up, I was gone.
So you never met the Brits?
No.
You didn't meet the Brits? Oh.
Were they there before actual Thanksgiving when people were showing? Because I remember I got there early because I got time off work and just headed out.
Yeah. They came later.
They came after you. I think you already left. Yeah.
But they're from England. They both work for McLaren.
Yeah.
And
supercar company. Yeah.
They came on GlamisDunes.com and said that they wanted to come out to Glamis. And my dad goes, "Oh, come out and hang out with us.
You can join our camp." Yeah.
And so they flew into
Las Vegas. Yeah.
Rented a motorhome and then came out to Glamis and camped with us.
And what were they riding?
Nothing. They didn't have anything.
Well, their plan was they were going to rent a side-by-side, from down in Vendors, whoever was renting at the time. And they went down to check it out, and they saw the price tag and said,
I'm surprised it bothered them, considering they flew all the way out there just to go take a trip
Yeah.
out.
Well, they got rides, and they actually came down and did demos.
You hooked them up with
They did some demo rides and stuff like that. But the whole thing behind it, you said Crusty Demons. And I'm like, how did you guys know about this? And they were
in Great Britain, right? In England, right?
and they were my age, right around my age. And they said they watched Crusty Demons of Dirt, and they're like, put it on the bucket list.
It's on the bucket
It's
list.
on the bucket list.
You know what though? It's amazing how much those videos inspire people.
Yeah.
But how much it ruined Glamis.
Yeah.
It really did.
Spiced it up a little bit. It didn't ruin nothing. You know what's funny? What got me going, I'd been watching these for years. Wes Miller, the H-Bomb videos, the Huevos videos. Have you ever watched those?
I've seen some of them, yeah.
Dude, there were some really cool ones. I found out, so there was one of them. It was probably my favorite one. It was probably like Huevos 7. I think they're in Northern California up in wine country. And they're just launching, doing like 150 or like 150 feet jumps over the top of these hills and just launching over them, just cruising down them. And they're so much fun. But those are what I started watching back in the day. So I actually found Wes Miller's stuff on YouTube. I guess he uploaded all of those, and now he's starting to bring a channel out and do stuff. But he had a lot of cool music videos essentially with him. And that's one of the things that I always loved doing. It's probably inspired me to like start putting some of these other little videos that we do together, because there's like some bands that I heard on his stuff that this is when I first heard of Demon Hunter and a few other bands, and I was like, got me into it. So no, I love that stuff, and that definitely gets me excited. Sometimes I just want to be stupid and go find those parties out there and get into it, go write something.
Speaking of videos, you want to go old school. Who was the one that sung "Everybody Wants to Rule the World"?
Is it rock or?
It's old.
Everyone wants to rule the world.
The song "Everybody Wants to Rule the World." We'll have to look it up.
Yeah,
but there's a video. There's a video, and it's in Glamis, and it's everybody coming over a hill on 3-wheelers.
Really?
And Stacy's dad and brothers were in that video on 3-wheelers. We're talking about talking about the 80s, Bob.
Dude, I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll throw it in here. That's badass. Because the only other video I know of this in Glamis, Deftones did a video out there, and it's pretty cool. So they got the sand blowing, and they're on top of some dune. And so I forget which song it is. I'll have to look it up. But it's awesome. I mean, well, they filmed so much stuff out there. They did what? Star Wars, Jumanji, a few things out there.
Yeah, a lot of videos. Yep.
That's awesome.
I'm looking it up.
I've been out there. When I'm out, spend some time out there, a little bit of time. There's doing the movie shoots and all that stuff out there.
So we see Ken out there trying to be an extra and everything.
Yeah, I was trying. Yeah.
Well, it's Tears for Fears.
Oh, really?
Tears for Fears. Everybody wants to rule the world.
Cool. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna check that out, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, video, really.
So let me ask you. Obviously, we talked about Glamis. What are the other places you guys really enjoyed? I know you talked about Pismo a little bit, because hell, I've been there. I took one quad. It basically, the wind was so bad, it was beating me up. I stayed in the hotel. I was like, I'm not camping here. It was horrible. And
Pismo is not that desirable anymore. But we did a trip to St. Anthony during COVID. That was pretty cool. Yeah, good time.
No, you didn't tell me about it at all. I would have showed up. It's probably about the same job I had in Colorado.
Were you actually in the States though?
Yeah, I think you were overseas.
I was over in Colorado. I was in the States, probably fixing my rib after I broke the last one. So St. Anthony's is pretty cool. What do you like about St. Anthony's? How's that differ from Glamis?
They got some pretty big dunes there. They got some huge bowls. You can actually fast. It's fast. You can get ripping through a lot of that stuff and just keep the speed up, and it's not all torn up. And you can go there. You go there during the summertime,
and you burn a lot of gas.
Yeah, a little bit higher elevation.
Well, whenever you guys want to burn some gas and go back up there, we know. I'll definitely.
Oh, we will. We will.
Because I'll be stoked about that. I've heard they got taller dunes out there. We got some friends that I met out in Winchester Bay. That's another.
Yeah, the Oregon coast is nice too. Those are fun.
Yeah, you've been out to Winchester Bay?
I've been to Winchester, Coos Bay, Florence, all of that up there, Dune up there. So that was good.
Awesome.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I told him to go back up there. Me and my brother, that's where I got started with this. I did it a handful of times when his boys were little. And then they found girls. So then all the dunes, I think.
Yeah. Things change.
But he still got some bikes. He was talking about bringing them down, and we have to store them up and keep riding them out there. But yeah, so Oregon News is a lot of fun. St. George.
Bring your brother back out.
What's that?
You got to bring your brother back out.
I know. Every time I talk to him, I'm like, hey, I was talking to him actually this morning, and I'm like, hey, man, when I say you got to come out, I got a ride for you. That means all the rides are working right now. You need to take advantage of that.
That's when all your stuff works in camp. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, totally. I'm like, everything's working. This is when you need to show up. Don't wait for a couple months.
Got to break soon.
So I totally want to get him out. Hey, I need to get TJ back out there.
Yeah.
Well, hell, guys. Well, here's one of the other things I'm going to do to everyone, because I need to get more people on here. So now that we got both of you on at the same time, both of y'all nominate 2 people that I need to be talking to on here that have some good stories and some good things to share for Glamis.
Right now?
Yeah. Who you got? Who do you think would be good to get on here?
Nominate.
Who?
I don't know. Yeah, think a minute.
I'd probably do Brian. Glamis vet.
Yeah, dude, I've already invited the Bryans. I got Brian. So I already got Brian Crane. He said he would do it, and then I got Brian from Sand Asylum. He said he's going to do it. So
and Eric's a good Grease Monkey.
Do I know him?
Well, he's part of the Glamis Veterans.
Yeah, I know. I've seen him all over the Glamis Dunes website. That's the thing is everyone has their call signs here, and I don't know who the hell these people are.
Oh, you've never met him? He's a cool guy. Yeah,
I may have shook his hand when we're setting up the booth over there for Glamis Veterans.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Okay,
he's been doing it for a while. He's had a lot of experiences, especially with sandrails and Funkos.
Awesome. We totally talked about those. So he's had Funkos.
Oh yeah. Also, go for Jeff.
What, Jeff Trone?
Jeff Trone.
Oh yeah. Hey, he bought Glamis coffee. I remember he was talking so much shit online, like, "Oh, you see me."
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Don't hold us against us. But Jeff Trone and his brother Rob would be good if you can get Rob.
Okay.
Doesn't come out a lot, but he's a diehard Dooner from way back.
Hell yeah. Jeff's coming out for your birthday, isn't he? Or is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, good. I might snag him then. I'm sure I could, the first thing in the morning, he'd be out there yelling for everybody, and we'll might just tell him to come on over and sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, but don't give him coffee.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, I know. It's kind of the last thing he needs to get amped up. So, but yeah, he got some. He told me, hey, we got the coffee. I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'm excited for him. So let him keep drinking some more. So
get Mark Pauly to. But
also talk to Robert in our camp. Robert, he's got a lot of expertise. He's, he knows a lot of stuff. He's been doing it for a while. He's had sandrails. He's had like the couple different sandrails and so forth. So he's got some experience.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, I'll definitely get everyone on there and try not to make it annoying. We're like, hey, you do a podcast with me. So we'll have some fun with it. Get the word out. Let everyone see what's going on. I think this is fun, guys. So anything you want to share with the Glamis community before we stop this?
Don't litter.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Don't litter.
And don't play your music after 10 o'clock.
Whoa.
10? Hold on. We don't even do that in our camp. 10?
Yeah. No, we don't. Old guys want to, fantastic old guys want to sleep.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, cool. Well, I'll put this out there, and I might tell people on Glamis Dunes to go check out your podcast since they don't know you guys anyway. All right, boys. I'll see you out there. Appreciate you doing it.
Take care.
All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.